'cause we'll never be wrong.
Okay. When I'm not doing schoolwork or hanging out with my friends, I work at a restaurant where I am new to serving. And last Saturday night, I was scheduled to take over the opener section. And I started at 4 p.m. and I was kind of upset because I had a lot of schoolwork to do that night. But I was like, okay, I'm here. Great, it'll be fine. And so the night's going along and all my tables are happy. They're enjoying their food and everyone's in a great mood. And I'm in a great mood because I haven't messed up. And that's the rarity at this point in my serving career. And so the night's going along and at some point it's 8 o'clock. And we close at 9 and I'm like, whoa, this is awesome. I might get off early and I'll have time to do my schoolwork. And my last table comes in. And it says man and this woman. And I'm like, okay, one more table. It'll be fine. So I walk up to them and I'm like, hello, sir. Hello, ma'am. How are we doing tonight? Like, we're doing great, they say. And I'm like, that's awesome. And they explain to me that they'd like to start out with the Frito Misto appetizer and 2 lemon drops. Okay, I can do that. And I was like, are we ready for our main courses, like to order? And they're like, yeah, I think so. And so the woman says, I would like the New York steak, please, cooked medium, as my main course. And I'm like, great, that sounds like a great choice. And I turn to the man and I'm like, sir, what can I get for you? And he's like, well, I'll have the same. I'm like, great, and how would you like that cooked? He says, whatever the chef thinks is best. I was like, wow, okay, great. We have a surprise.
No
So I run back to the chefs and I explain the order I put in and they're like, great, we get to be like creative and stuff. So this is exciting. I was like, yeah, cool. So I go back in the back and I start doing my side work again, which is filling up these olive oil bottles. And I'm like, okay, this is great. I'm gonna get out of here. Everyone's happy. And then all of a sudden my boss finds me and she's like, have you checked on table 11? And I'm like, no, I mean, they seem happy. She's like, we should go check on them. They just look a little confused. So I go over there and I'm like, is everything okay? And they're like, yeah, we're just waiting on our food. You know, we're kind of impatient. We want to get our night moving. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, so I go back to the chefs and it turns out their food's ready. I'm like, great, okay. And I really make sure to remember which steak is the medium steak and which steak is the medium rare, which was the chef's suggestion. So I go over to the table and I set their steaks down and I say, is there anything else I can get you this evening? And they're like, no, that'll be all. Great. So I got back to the kitchen and I'm doing my side work and at this point my boss finds me again and she's like, will you check on table 11? I was like, well, I just dropped off their food, they seem fine. And she's like, well, you should really go check on them again. I was like, oh my god, okay. So I go out there and the whole restaurant's looking for me. And they're like, have you talked to table 11? And I was like, no. And so I went over there, I was like, how is everything? And they're like, the man goes, I didn't order the steak. I was like, oh no. And of course my heart sank because I was like, shoot, I thought I was doing so well. And I was like, okay, well, let me rectify this. And he's like, I didn't order the steak. And I was like, okay, well, what did you order? He's like, I ordered the fish. And I was like, okay, great. Sounds good, I'll see what I can do. So I went back to the kitchen, I talked to the chefs, and they're like, well, that's weird. I was like, I thought it was weird too. And I was so confused because I was like, I remembered every part of our interaction, and I was like, well, I don't know. He says he orders the fish, so I tell the chefs that we need a fish on the fly. And they're like, great, we got it. And so everyone's working really, really hard, and then the fish comes up, and I take it back to the man, and I give it to him, and he's obviously still in an awful mood, but, you know, what are you going to do? So I'm like, okay, enjoy. The couple finished their meal. I go back to them. I explain that we covered their meal on the house and that the fish would be free of charge. I was like, okay, that's nice. But, you know, the fish was dry. It wasn't really cooked to par because the chefs were rushing. I was like, I understand. It was totally my fault. I'm sorry. So the couple leave. They give me a 5% tip, but, you know, they tipped me, so that's something. And at the end of the night, the moral of the story, if anything, is that I'll have the same and I'll have the salmon, sound a lot the same, in a noisy restaurant with a lot of people around. So that's it.